Street community is hosting a trick-or-treating event tonight on campus.
Coming up, we'll let you know what the festivities will include and who can get involved.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Bess Pavlakovich.
And I'm Grace McClanahan.
Parts of campus are all decked out for the spooky season, and students are ready to celebrate Halloween.
NewsWatch reporter Bennett shows us just how students are getting into the spirit.
With Halloween landing on a school day, many Ole Miss students decided to wear their costumes to class today. Junior Andrew Smith is no stranger to Halloween costumes, and this isn't the first time he has dressed up as Waldo.
So I've had this costume laying around for a couple years. I wore it back home a couple times, but it's very easily identifiable, and people always get a kick out of it, telling you that they found me.
Smith wasn't the only one who decided to dress up for Halloween. Many other students wanted to dress up as well to help campus get into the spooky spirit.
Halloween is my favorite holiday, so it's like any excuse to wear a costume. Or for me, October is the one month you get to be weird, and it's okay.
Buckner also says that she enjoys this day because it always comes with a surprise.
You never know what you're going to see when you come in class. You never know if the person is going to be in just like everyday clothes, like it's just another day, or if they're going to be Waldo or a werewolf or a vampire or something.
Those who decided to dress up are not just doing it for themselves, but hope their decision to wear a costume will help brighten the day of fellow classmates.
I don't think enough people find like joys in the little things. So if I can just make a couple people smile and one day a year, then might as well just help some other people out.
Bennett, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Many students who didn't wear their costumes to class today told NewsWatch they'll dress up tonight as they head out to different parties. And tonight, Panhellenic sororities are hosting a trick-or-treat event for children in the Oxford and Lafayette community. NewsWatch reporter Abby McIntosh is live in front of Kappa Delta to let us know more about the event. Abby?
Thanks, Bess. I'm outside at the Kappa Delta House, and I am here with Katie's Panhellenic delegate, Helen Colquitt. Helen, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you all so much for being here.
Yeah, of course. So just tell me, what is Panhellenic trick-or-treat? What's going on here?
So Panhellenic is putting on a community-wide trick-or-treat event for the community of Oxford, and the kids will meet up in the Grove, and then they'll go down Sorority Row and Rebel Drive to trick-or-treat at all the sorority houses.
Awesome. So how did this come about? Is this the first time that something like this has happened? Like, how did this all get organized?
So Panhellenic Exec Council tries to do something like this once a semester. We do Halloween or Easter. So Panhellenic Exec leads it up, and then delegates from each sorority are the ones that kind of get all the houses together on it.
How much planning has it taken to get all this together?
It's been a lot. Like, we have to each get volunteers, and we all kind of have to correlate our activities, so we're all not doing the same thing because that'd be kind of weird. But we tried planning like 2 weeks in advance about.
And then how is this kind of, uniting the sororities, all 11 sororities on campus?
It kind of, I don't know, it makes us feel like more of a neighborhood, I guess, and I mean, we're houses on a campus, so it just gives us more of a neighborhood feel, and it's like cool to be able to like wave across the street to our friends at DG and stuff. I don't know, it's just really fun.
Y'all expecting a lot of kids to come by?
We actually are. So I heard that a lot of neighborhoods did trick-or-treating last night, so a lot of them are coming today because everyone thought it was going to rain, but we got really good weather tonight.
Well, thanks so much, Ellen. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Reporting live out of the in front of the KD House, Abby McIntosh, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Thanks, Abby. Last night, Ole Miss Campus Recreation held its first Terror in Turner Halloween event. NewsWatch reporter Turner St. Romain went to see what tricks and treats were in store for the community.
Aaron Cromings, the Assistant Director for Wellness Education, has created a new way to get involved on Halloween. The Turner Center hosted its first ever Terror in Turner Halloween event last night with a kiddie carnival and a haunted house. The event attracted students and community members all over Oxford.
We're excited that there is a lot of interest in this moving forward. This year it was just really kind of a let's see what we can do and build upon in the future. We definitely want to see it grow and expand and maybe not only be the 2 rooms that we're using it in tonight, but maybe all of Turner moving forward, but definitely baby steps.
While one might not think that a haunted house in the Turner Center would be scary, the event exceeded expectations for student Maggie Crouch.
I thought when I was standing in line that it wasn't going to be that bad because there were a bunch of younger kids in front of me, but then once I got in there, I realized that this was actually legit, and it was honestly really scary.
Cromings wasn't sure how the new attraction would do, but with the lines for the haunted house out the door and the success of the Kitty Carnival, she was already looking ahead to next year.
Look for us next year. If you want to be part of the haunt next year, or you're in one of those classes, you can partner with us moving forward, but we're definitely interested in continuing this every year.
Based off the reception of this first year, the Terror and Turner Haunted House is sure to be a staple of campus rec for years to come. Turner St. Romain, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
Yesterday's event was a success, according to Campus Rec, and they hope to continue this event in the future. There's no such thing as Halloween without a pumpkin. NewsWatch reporter Annie Mapp tells us how one Oxford resident has been bringing pumpkins to life all month long.
Andre Hill is a driver for the city of Oxford who started carving pumpkins for Halloween last year after getting the idea from social media. Hill says designing the pumpkins is easy because he's been drawing since he was 5.
I think I was just on Facebook one day and I seen somebody carve one, and I was like, well, I think I can do a better job than that, so I just tried it.
Hill started posting his work on social media and immediately got requests to sell his pumpkin creations.
Just amazed by it, amazed. A lot of people were telling me that they wanted to have somebody just applaud me, you know, just something that, like I said, I just do it for fun. So that's a great feeling.
For people like me who have never carved a pumpkin before, Hill says it's important to draw out your design first, and then you can start getting your knife and carving out the pumpkin.
It's hard to just, you know, just cut, just freehand like that. I wouldn't even do that. And I feel like I'm pretty good at it, but I wouldn't even do that. I would always draw it out first.
Christina Streeter, who works in the Idea Lab at the J.D. Williams Library, says decorating a pumpkin is a nostalgic experience.
For students, it kind of reminds you of childhood and and being able to, if you want to introduce like electrical items into it, then you're kind of taking it to a different level.
Both Streeter and Hill believe in thinking outside the box when decorating a pumpkin, and Hill has already made about $200 this Halloween season with his designs. Now all he has to do is wait 364 days to start back his craft. Annie Mapp, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
Hill says that he sells his pumpkins for $25 if he provides the pumpkin and $20 if you provide the pumpkin.
There have been many spooky events leading up to Halloween this week in Oxford, but tonight is the night for trick-or-treating. The Oxford Police Department emphasizes the importance of safety, especially on this night. NewsWatch reporter Hannah Huff talked to OPD, and they have these tips to help keep you safe.
Oxford Police Captain Alan Ivey shares concern about the safety of children on Halloween. In the past, there have not been any incidents, but still stresses the importance to parents to keep an extra eye out for their kids tonight.
Kids get really excited on Halloween, and it's really important for the parents to, try to keep up with them, because the kids don't think. They're just trying to, they're having fun.
Tonight, it is encouraged to take the extra steps to assure your safety during this fun but spooky holiday. The streets will be busy with trick-or-treaters, so everyone needs to take caution when driving or crossing the road.
They'll be scattered out among North and South Lamar, which tend to be some of our bigger trick-or-treating areas. They'll have blue lights going and just trying to slow everybody down.
Children are at a higher risk of danger on Halloween night. Make sure to be extra cautious during all the fun events planned for tonight. This is Hannah Huff, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Some Oxford neighborhoods held trick-or-treating last night, but most of the children will be out tonight. The Ole Miss Associated Student Body Senate unanimously passed a resolution about campus polling locations at its meeting last night. The resolution urges Lafayette County to create a polling place on the university campus for local, state, and national elections as an attempt to improve student involvement in elections. The county supervisors have the deciding power about where to place polls in the county, and this resolution serves as ASB's endorsement to put a poll on campus. Out-of-state students can also vote through absentee ballots.
With less than a week before the midterm elections, Lafayette County is getting ready for what is expected to be a busy day at the polls. NewsWatch reporter Matthew Hindley got the inside scoop on how voters can get prepared.
As the midterm elections quickly approach, a significant increase in voter turnout is expected, what the Lafayette County Voter Register is calling unusual for the area.
This year, there seems to be a lot of interest in it. Usually, it's turnout, if we get 10%, that's good.
But for for this November's midterms?
We are anticipating a larger turnout, so maybe 20-30%, hopefully.
Mississippi State Senator Gray Tollison says the current political climate in America is what's spiking voter interest.
Well, I mean, I think you're seeing a lot of partisanship, unfortunately, where the parties are kind of moving to the far edges of the room, as I like to say.
Leaders on the Ole Miss campus like Jarius Adams believe that preventing voter apathy among students begins with voter education.
A lot of students feel like their votes don't matter, and a lot of them feel like elections don't matter, right? I try to let them put it in perspective, like what's at stake, right? So a lot of our elected officials kind of determine what our tuition is here at our university, right? So that's something that hits your pocketbooks.
Part of the effort to increase voter turnout in Oxford is ensuring that students and Oxford residents know when and where to vote and how to get to the polls.
You can go to the county's website, LafayetteMiss.com, and look on elections, and there is polling location addresses, and I think there's a Google map to show you how to get there.
On Election Day, students can expect an email from Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, Brandy Hefner-LeBanc.
On Election Day, she has agreed to send out an email to all students to remind them to vote, and in there will be literature for people to understand where they can vote.
Matt Hindley, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Again, Election Day is this Tuesday, November 6th. Polls open at 7 a.m. The Ole Miss Law School put on their annual Student Legal Scholarship Exposition today, and NewsWatch reporter Kristen Bentley is in studio to tell us more. Kristen.
Thanks, Grace. That's right. The 2018 Legal Scholarship Exposition was today, and 3 law students got the opportunity to showcase the hard work and research that they're trying to get published in the Mississippi Law Journal.
The 2018 Student Legal Scholarship Exposition, where 3 law students give presentations and answer questions on a panel about their research papers, was held today in the Weems Auditorium of the law school. Sammy Brown, one of the presenters at the exposition, spoke about his paper on private prisons and shared his personal hopes of the outcome from the event.
I'll be detailing the process by which a plaintiff can execute a 13th Amendment claim via the 13th against private prisons. I think this paper topic is certainly relevant in pushing us in the right step towards hopefully eliminating private prisons altogether. People presenting with me, they have great topics on things that are important to them as well, and I think that scholarship like this is always relevant and always important to advancing public policy towards a positive direction.
Michelle Alexander, a law professor and associate dean, spoke about the time that the 3 speakers have dedicated to their work and about the level of expertise on the subject matter.
We planned these student scholarship exposition in order to really showcase our students' amazing talents. Half of them are publishing in external law journal as students, which is very hard to do. They are breaking all types of record and assumptions that people have about the level of imagination or creative scholarly possibilities of students.
The annual Student Legal Scholarship Exposition is once a semester. The next scholarship exposition will be held sometime in the spring. Anna, Bess, Grace, back to you.
Thanks, Kristen. Up next, find out how many charges the suspect in the Pennsylvania synagogue shooting will now face.
And Paul Ryan spoke yesterday about President Trump's inability to end birthright citizenship. See how the president responded coming up. But first, Camryn Sidley has your first look at the current conditions.
Hey Rebels, happy Wednesday. As we take a look at our current weather headlines, you can see we're going to see some rain tonight, unfortunately. We're going to see some high humidity, and we are going to see some rain next week. As we take a look at our current radar image, you can see it's pretty clear over Oxford right now, but that won't be the case later tonight. Coming up on Stormwatch, I'll tell you everything you need to know for tonight.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
I was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's split a ride home.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I, Kristen, take you, Jamie, to be my wife.
When we found out that we were pregnant, we were just elated. We were just sitting there waiting for the pediatrician. She said she won't be taking you in as a client.
We are a lesbian couple, but she's just a baby. She's the one you're denying the service to.
Charges are stacking up against the suspect in the Pittsburgh synagogue massacre. Robert Bowers now faces 44 federal charges, upwards of the 29 charges he faced just yesterday. Those charges include 11 counts of obstruction of the free exercise of religious belief resulting in death, and use of a firearm to commit murder during a crime of violence, which can result in the death penalty. 32 of these charges are punishable by death, and a conviction on the non-death penalty charges are each punishable by 20 years or life in prison. Bowers is being held without bond until his preliminary hearing on Tuesday. 2 people were killed when their helicopter hit a set of power lines and combusted into flames in New York yesterday afternoon. The other 2 men in the helicopter jumped to the ground and survived. At the time of the incident, the helicopter was working on the power lines and something caused a catastrophe that caused the aircraft to crash. But exactly what happened has yet to be determined. The Federal Aviation Administration and National Transportation Safety Board are investigating the incident.
President Trump went after the Speaker of the House today for not supporting his claim to end a constitutional guarantee. The president tweeted that Paul Ryan knows nothing about birthright citizenship. Ryan told a Kentucky radio station yesterday the president cannot end birthright citizenship with an executive order. But the president indicated in a recent interview he believes he can do just that. In his tweet, Trump said Ryan should be focusing on holding the majority rather than giving his opinion on birthright citizenship. Midterm elections take place next Tuesday.
Well, the clear fall weather may be over for a little while, as it looks like there may be rain coming to Oxford.
You hate to see it, Anna Bess. But coming up, Camryn Sidley will let us know if we can expect some spooktacular weather for the rest of Halloween week.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here. I've got your back.
when you want to talk, I'm here. Did you put a new dent in that? This one? No. Were you texting and driving again? Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
Disaster tips from the objects left behind.
My home wasn't insured, but you can check your insurance policy now to make sure you're covered. Oh.
My savings are lost, but you can put money aside and plan for unexpected disaster costs.
We're lost forever, but you can scan important documents now so they survive.
For more tips on how to prepare, visit ready.gov.
Hey Rebels, happy Wednesday and happy Halloween. As we take a look at our current weather, you can see we're at 72 degrees with overcast and some slight winds and only a 20% chance of rain. So overall, it's looking nice outside. As we take a look at our satellite image, only a couple clouds over Oxford right now, but as you can see over here, the rain is definitely coming towards us, but we won't have to worry about that till a little bit later. As we take a look at our current temperatures, you can see we have 73 in South Haven, 72 in Oxford, Holly Springs, and Corinth, and 75 in Tupelo. As we take a look at tomorrow's temperatures, it's going to drop down just a little bit to 64 in South Haven and Holly Springs, 63 in Oxford, 67 in Corinth, and 68 in Tupelo. As we take a look at tonight's temperatures, unfortunately, we are going to see rain tonight. We're at 61 degrees with partly cloudy, some winds coming in from the south, and 100% chance of rain. So if you're heading out and trick-or-treating tonight, you definitely want to bring an umbrella. As you take a look at tomorrow's forecast, it's going to be at 63 degrees. We are going to see rain again tomorrow with a 60% chance. So you definitely want to bring a jacket. As we move on to our 5-day forecast, you can see we have Friday at 59, Saturday at 65, Sunday at 68, Monday at 68, and Tuesday also at 68. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Camryn. The Ole Miss soccer team looked to continue their hot streak as they took on Arkansas in the SEC tournament. Find out if they advance.
And the Ole Miss golf team finished their fall season in Hawaii. See if they close out on a strong note up next in Sports Watch.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Welcome to Sports Watch and happy Halloween, Rebel fans. I'm AJ Norwood. The Ole Miss men's golf team finished their fall season strong, shooting a 10 under 278 in the final round of the Warrior Princeville Invitational. Senior Bo Briggs managed to finish the season with consecutive top 5 finishes. Braden Thornberry was also no pushover as he went 3 under on the back 9 with no bogeys on the final day. Head coach Chris Malloy says he's confident that they'll have their best outings in the spring. The Rebels will be back on the course again in February for the Ole Miss South Florida Challenge in Florida. Taking it over to the soccer pitch, the Ole Miss soccer team got off to a sluggish start in their quarterfinal match of the SEC tournament yesterday against Arkansas. The Rebels fell 4-0 with the Razorbacks scoring 3 goals within the first 10 minutes of the match. Ole Miss only had 3 shot attempts in the first half, but none were able to find the back of the net. The Rebels looked to gather momentum after halftime, but it all backfired after an own goal by the Rebels in the 58th minute. The Rebels now wait for the NCAA tournament selection show to hear their fate. Following the death of Maryland offensive lineman Jordan McNair, the University System of Maryland announced yesterday that football coach DJ Durkin has been reinstated. Durkin was placed on administrative leave in August after the death of McNair. News of the reinstatement has sparked protests from the University of Maryland student body. McNair's father describes the reinstatement as being a punch to the stomach and that he thought the USM board would do the right thing. Durkin will return to the sideline Saturday when Maryland takes on Michigan State. Colombian Tatiana Calderon became the first Latin American woman to drive a Formula One car when she took part in a promotional event for the Sauber team yesterday. The 25-year-old was appointed official test driver for the Ferrari-powered Swiss team last March, but yesterday she had her first opportunity to take the 2018 car for a spin. Calderon said it has been her dream to drive at the highest level since she first started racing, while she hopes to compete in Formula 2 next season. Formula One hasn't had a female driver start a Grand Prix since 1976. That's all I have for you today in sports. Be sure to follow us at NewsWatch_UM to stay up to date with all things sports. Anna, Bess, Grace, back to you.
Thanks, AJ. Coming up, we'll take a look at the Out of This World carving contest NASA recently held.
And stay tuned to see how the beautiful Halloween creations really gave people pumpkin to talk about.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
This is what happens when NASA puts on a pumpkin decorating contest for Halloween. Engineers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab in Pasadena, California took part in the 7th annual contest. The contestants took standard jack-o'-lanterns and made them spin, light up, glow, and even battle other pumpkins.
All of the engineers had to create their entries on their own time. The prize for coming up with all of these gorgeous displays? Just good old-fashioned bragging rights. NASA says it's a great way for engineers to bond as a team and flex their creative muscles.
That's awesome. What are y'all going to be for Halloween?
You know, I think I'm going to dress up as a cow in milk, maybe like you did last year.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. So speaking of that, what's the trick-or-treating weather like tonight?
Unfortunately, it is going to rain tonight, so you definitely want to be prepared for that, but it's looking good for the rest of the week.
Awesome. Good to hear. Thanks, Camryn. That's all we have for tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Newswatch Ole Miss. I'm Bess, Pavlakovich.
Be sure to join us here again tomorrow night at 5 and on NewsWatchOleMiss.com. I'm Grace McClanahan. Thank you and good night.